to the September 22nd meeting of the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners. At this time, we'd like to ask if you'd please turn your cell phones off or other electronic devices until we get through with the meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask Commissioner McCoy if he would have our invocation, and it will be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. Will you please stand?
I'd just ask you to bow with me, please. Father, we just come to you at this time, thanking you so much for everything that you do for us. And Lord, we just lift now our county up to you and ask that you would just give us the wisdom and the direction and whatever's needed here this night to conduct the business according to your will. Now, Lord, we just thank you for everything that you do. And Lord, just forgive us what we think. In Christ Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item is that we need to adopt the agenda. I don't think there's any additions to it this time, so can we have a motion to adopt the agenda? So we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay. All right, we received the minutes from the September 9th, 2015 meeting. We've had a chance to look over them. Does anybody have any corrections or deletions or any changes there? Hearing none, can we have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay. All right, well, first we have a municipal comments. I know we have Mayor Prater from Warm Springs. He's got some good news.
It's old news now
Yeah.
for most of us, but it is true that the Bullock House is moving to the auditorium 2 room, and still the plan is this is just a temporary move until they can get everything settled and build back on the hill. They are actively in construction, and they're working inside and outside. Today they showed us the paint scheme that we're going to be using on the exterior, and we're very excited. Ms. Lambert is going to be bringing her gift shop down to what was the Hatberry gift shop, so that will fill all of the buildings on the south side of the street, and hoping that will bring people in to fill up the other side of the street. And it is giving impetus to us to get on our horses and see what we can do to get the parking in as soon as possible. We don't have the parking space anywhere else in town. They have a Bullock House. I want to thank the county commissioners and others that have been so helpful in renovations of the Welcome Center. It's open and being used. We're just thankful for the work, and to dispel any rumors. The city of Warm Springs does own the Welcome Center, and we contract the program out to the chamber. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, any of the other cities represented? See anybody? All right, we'll go next to our constitutional officers, and I guess we'll hear from Miss Marlene for the last time.
It will be, and on a good note, bills should be out by next week, before I leave.
Okay.
Great.
I'm not leaving. But they should be out by next week.
Okay. Sheriff?
No, ma'am.
Am I missing anybody? Okay, we'll move on to our department heads, and we'll start over here with Ren.
I've got this time.
You good?
You anyway.
All right. Ron?
I don't have anything unless you may have something to vote here for the data board.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bruce?
I don't have anything, this board is,
Ms. Jane? Joey?
I think we're in pretty good shape. Digest was accepted, our ratios and audits and everything in the state were good for last year and this year. All the appeals are resolved with the exception of one or two that Susan knows about. And we're starting on next year.
Tracy?
The preseason is over with for the youth football league. This Saturday begins the regular season. I think everybody have gotten their jitters out, so looking forward to start of the regular season. Everybody have won the game, lost the game, so just looking forward to the successful season. So we have 2 games at home this Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, sir.
I need you to call my name. One, we are selling Bluebird houses. We did have a build day on September 12th, but now I have 25 Bluebird houses in my office. So I'd love to get rid of those. They're 15 apiece. So that's a little fundraiser for us, 4-H. Also, we have an NRA banquet coming up. That isn't directly tied to 4-H, but the proceeds do go to help us with grants that we receive through NRA. I have tickets today if you'd like to purchase one. They're $30 for a single, $50 for a couple, and $250 for a table. We're also taking donations, items to donate, of course, money to donate. This is going to be a really great night. 2 auctions, games, raffles, lots of fun, food, and firearms. So, awesome night. I hope to see lots of you there. I will be at Tractor Supply Saturday morning selling tickets. So if you don't get yours today, come see me Saturday morning. Let's see. School clubs are in full swing. I'm in elementary, middle, and high school, so I've met every single kid in this county, which is awesome. Well, not quite, but almost. And then last but not least, we have an agent starting on November 1st, an ag agent. Her name is Susan James.
Thank you. Is that all the department heads? Carolyn, you have something for us from the chamber?
Yes, quick. Chamber of Tourism, I want to thank all of you all, and for those of you who were able to participate in our Glow event last week, thank you very much. If you weren't able to participate, it was a very interesting week for all of us, and we do have a community flag as our proof that they were here and that we did engage with the community. So thank you to all of you who were able to participate. As far as what we do now with that activity and that intervention in our community, that is something that we will be discussing on with our tourism team on Thursday. There was a meeting with the artists, but we didn't make a lot of plans as far as where we go next with this. So that will be more to come on that. Also to add a couple of things to the mayor's report on the Visitor Information Center. It is reopened, of course, as of September 1st. We have a number of volunteers, and we did a volunteer orientation program for them a couple of weeks ago. So all of our volunteers have already done at least one shift, including some of the folks from the county office, and thank you very much for that support. As of today, right before I came, we've had 235 people to walk in that building since the 1st of September. That sounds like a good number to me, but we don't have a good track record to know how that compares to before. So, but I will continue to report those numbers to you. I also wanted to remind you under the chamber operations of our, Bogle Farms, open house, business after hours, next Thursday. I think you all should have gotten an invitation, and I hope that you all make plans to attend. And I believe that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda, we have a need to go into a public hearing. So at this time, can we have a motion to go into a public hearing?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? We're now in the public hearing, and we will turn that over to Ron.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll start off, ask
Okay.
Ron to come up and
we'll go ahead.
address some issues. Madam Chairman, Commissioners, the public hearing's been properly advertised for tonight to consider the abandonment portion of Davenport Road. This is the section of the roadway here that's highlighted. That will be the section that we're discussing. It is starting at Arbor Chapel Road and running, I think, approximately 2,800 or so feet up to an intersection. There's a new roadway that's been constructed here, and this is the east property line of the property owner that's asked that this be abandoned. Of course, you know, tonight as part of the public hearing, we're here to hear comments to determine whether or not this roadway continues to serve a public purpose. And we do have the drawings. There's a new road that's been constructed, and you know, we believe, my recommendation is, unless someone comes forward with a compelling reason, is my recommendation would be certainly that we look at abandoning that roadway and accepting the new roadway. We have developed legal descriptions on this. We're going to develop the quitclaim deed to give this abandoned road back to the property owner. He's going to dedicate the new roadway back to the county. But they're developing those deeds, and Susan and I have been working on a quitclaim deed. Ron and I talked the other day, there's just a few things that we need them to do to be able to complete some erosion issues and whatever on the roadway. So if the board chooses tonight to abandon that, my recommendation would be that you abandon the roadway and you offer and give the chairman authorization to sign a quitclaim deed to them and accept the new roadway in contingent upon them satisfying Ron's requirements in terms of erosion and some other things. And I know you've been working with them on that already, Ron.
Yeah, I've been out there two or three times the last couple weeks, and there's been some severe or significant erosion that occurs out there on the slopes and the inverse of the ditches, and also the in and out in the cross drain. And I've been out there and talked with the contractor and told them what they need to get corrected, and I recommend some things that were not in the original erosion design plan that should have been there. So they have put in place now rock filter dams along the ditches. They now have covered those slopes that were severely eroded with erosion control blankets, which is what I required them to put in. And we've got some silk fences on the intersection of Arbor Chapel Road and the new road to stop that dirt, that soil from running to a little drain down off Arbor Chapel. And I was out there again today, about 3 o'clock, and they are moving right on with all my requirements. They have the in and out end of the cross drain collapsed from all the rain we had back in August. Remember those 2 or 3 weeks of rain back to back? And it actually collapsed the riprap that was around both those in and out ends. So I required them to replace that and get that back in order. They've done that. I was out there today, and they have excavated out the drainage ditch that goes out onto their property, which was excavated flat, which meant our cross drain was not draining anywhere. So that's been corrected. And they've got a real good stand of grass out there. Of course, it's temporary grass, brown millet. That's the only thing that germinate now this time of year, Bermuda. They plan to remove it, and I see a lot of Bermuda coming up, which is good, because it tells me that next spring we'll have a very good cover of Bermuda out there. But in the meantime, they've got good cover with this brown top millet, which it's got a deep root system that will keep the dirt, keep the new soil in place, and also got broad leaves that keeps the raindrop from hitting the ground and exploding dirt out everywhere. So everything's in place, needs to be in place, and I think once they get them all in place, it'd be good for us to go ahead and take the road over. The rock filter dams will stay in place probably for another 6-8 months, but that's something that we can take out once they've served their purpose. And that should take care of everything.
They've been very responsive in speaking to me, I think, with you. And Bruce and I have been out and looked at the road as well. It's a good road. A lot of the erosion is just because it's rained a lot and it is a new road, then they're waiting on the stand of grass. So we don't anticipate any problem. In fact, traffic's already traveling over the road. But, we'd like to have those things repaired and corrected before we take over the maintenance of it, which will happen when you guys accept it.
So I know the contractor's gonna, probably maybe gonna call me and know what the board decided. So, as I understand, you're gonna abandon the old section. We're not gonna accept the new section till these little repairs have been repaired.
He says, well, we can vote to accept it contingent upon them finishing your
Does that
recommendations.
mean that the public can legally travel on a new road as of tonight, and we just, 2 weeks later, we'll make a final check?
When it satisfies Ron, I think tonight is contingent upon satisfying Ron. And also, the quitclaim deed would be contingent upon that as well, and they're not, but if they said we're not gonna do it, we wouldn't issue the quitclaim deed. Right. But we're not gonna have a problem with that, but I think it'd be fine to travel on it and let them understand that they just need to get this done. At the rate they're going, when do you anticipate them, provided we have good weather, completing all
I
this?
think all the work that's got to be done will be done by the end of this week.
This week, right. And it's gonna take us that long to get the deeds works and all together. So that's why I say we just get the board to authorize the chairman to execute that and accept the road contingent upon Ron's, signing off on it. We'll be ready to go.
I think both of those would be contingent upon Ron signing off on it.
Absolutely.
Any more questions from me?
Anybody have any questions for Ron? Thank you. Did anybody sign up to speak?
No, ma'am.
Is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak to this, closing of this road? Okay, if there's nothing further, can we have a motion to go out of public hearing?
So moved.
Can we have a second?
Sorry.
All in favor? Okay. All right, next, we need to take a vote on the information for the public hearing. I think the motion would be to allow the chairman to sign a quitclaim deed, abandon the portion of the Davenport Road and accept the new road contingent upon the completion of the recommendations by Ron.
Right,
Is that it?
absolutely, for erosion. And that would also, be with the board's action to abandon that section of Route
Yeah,
42.
okay. Can we have a motion?
Who's going to be captain?
I can say it again, or if you want to say
I'll be
it
glad,
again.
if this is okay with the board. Recommendation would be to abandon the advertised section of Davenport Road and acceptance of, and issuance of a quitclaim deed with authorization of the chairman to execute that, and accept the new roadway which has been constructed, and we have drawings on that as well, contingent upon final sign-off on erosion and issues with Ron.
Madam Chair, I adopt those words as the motion. It's so-
Now, we're- Right.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? All right,
Thank
thank you. All right, under old business, we have the courthouse wall. Do we have anything further on that?
Yes, ma'am, we actually, I was hoping tonight to be able to have an RFP ready for that, but we just got the drawings yesterday afternoon at lunchtime. I guess the good thing that I would like to report on that, and we'll talk about a little bit more in the future, is looks like there's going to be some support, thanks to the board, from GDOT to be able to assist with that project. So we're going to package all it up. I'll get the information back to them. I met yesterday afternoon on this issue, and we'll be developing an RFP, and I've got some cost estimates already. So, and the number that we gave them yesterday, Bruce, was pretty dead on with what the estimated costs are going to be. So we hopefully at your next meeting, we'll have that back with an RFP ready for the board to approve.
So do we have to make a motion to table this then to the next meeting?
Yes, ma'am, just table it to the
Okay. All right,
next
we have a
meeting.
motion to table the courthouse wall.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? All right, under new business, we have someone very special to recognize tonight. Someone that's fortunate enough to be able to retire. And at this time, I'd like to read, why don't you just come on up here and, will you come up here and stand for us, Ms. Marlene?
Check the guns at the door.
First of all, I want to read a proclamation for you, okay? A proclamation to recognize Marlene C. White for her outstanding service to the citizens of Meriwether County upon her retirement as Meriwether County Tax Commissioner. Whereas Marlene C. White has provided 17 years of service to the citizens of Meriwether County while working in the capacity of tax clerk and then later as tax commissioner. And whereas Marlene C. White is an extraordinary, hardworking, loving wife, mother of a son and of a daughter, and grandmother to 3 grandchildren. And whereas Marlene C. White is a faithful member of the Greenville Lions Club and a generous helper in all parts of her community who enjoys cooking and fellowship with friends. And now let it be proclaimed by the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners on the 22nd day of September 2015 that Ms. Marlene C. White be and is hereby recognized and commended for her outstanding service to the citizens of Meriwether County upon the occasion of her retirement as tax commissioner on September 30th, 2015. And be it proclaimed further that the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners does hereby extend its best wishes to Mrs. Marlene C. White in all future endeavors.
Thank you to each and every one of you as citizens, as part of this community. And you're not going to get rid of me that quickly. I'm going to be around trying to get back involved with the chamber. If I can possibly do that, and anything else I can get my hands into, and as much as I can possibly do for this county, because it's home. I thank you very much for allowing me to be your tax commissioner for these past 12 years. Thank you.
On
Thank you.
behalf of the Board of Commissioners and all the employees of Meriwether County, first we will give you a copy of the proclamation and then present you with this flag. The Meriwether County Board of Commissioners recognizes Marlene C. White for 17 years of dedicated service to Meriwether County, July 28, 1998 to September 30th, 2015. Thank you.
Vice Chairman.
Yeah, come on, man, get a little picture.
Her family's out here too. Her family's here too.
Family,
My brother.
oh, come on.
Get out of the way, I don't think.
Oh.
He's actually.
Don't let Shirley hide.
He's my brother.
There.
Baby brother.
Step down this way. Come on down. Come on, come on.
You're trying to cover me up.
No, I'm trying to get you off that shoulder. Now step.
Okay.
I think you can see it. Shirley hid the last one. Even though I tried to stop her, she still hid. Not this time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Marlene. Thank you. We're not going to let you get rid of us. Let me say also, there is a reception this Saturday afternoon from 3 to 5 at the Tax Commissioner's office to recognize, oh, it's here, I'm sorry, it's in our chambers here, to recognize Ms. Marlene. So that'll be Saturday from 3 to 5. Okay, next on our agenda is to adopt the 2015-16 budget. We just had a public hearing on that previous to this meeting, and at this time, we'll turn it over to Mr. Bill and to Theron for the adoption of the budget.
You've got copies of the budget before you, revenue and expenses. We've had a public hearing for that. At this time, I would submit the budget to you for your approval.
Okay.
We recommend approval of the budget
Okay.
as presented.
Okay, you've heard the recommendations from Mr. Gregory and Mr. Gay. We have a motion regarding the budget.
I move we accept the budget as presented.
Okay, we have a second? Second. All right, is there any discussion? All in favor? Okay, the budget for 2015-2016 has been adopted. Next on the agenda is to appoint ACCG IRMA insurance contact and a safety coordinator and allow the chairman to sign the verification form. So,
Madam Chairman, Commissioners, we have to have a safety coordinator, and Beverly, I think you discussed, is Bryn going to be the recommendation service on that?
Okay.
We recommend, that way it works, we'll have safety meetings, we'll try to address with our insurance coverage in ways that we can, reduce our risk and everything, and education to the employees. So we would recommend, appointment of Bryn to that position.
okay. All right, hearing the recommendation from Mr. Gay, and have a motion to appoint.
Excuse me, who's the insurance contact?
I would recommend Beverly.
Oh, so we're doing two different
Yes,
things.
can we-
Okay, do we need to do that in two
motion?
different motions?
We can do it.
We do one? All right. Can we have a motion to appoint Brian Jones as the safety coordinator contact person and Beverly Thomas as the insurance contact person, at the same time allow the chairman to sign the discount verification form?
Before we move forward, I'd like to ask, Brenda, do you think you have time to do it? And Beverly also? Is there additional time in your days to?
It's, I kind of handle all that anyway. It's
Okay.
all the property that goes on there, all the vehicles that go on there, any of the claims that go in. So I'm kind of the front person anyway for that.
How much
Once
time
the bill
does it
comes in,
add
I
to
give it to
yours?
him.
I mean, there's gonna be classes and stuff that I'm gonna have to go take, just to become,
And to get the discount.
yeah, I mean, I feel I can fit it in. I promise you I wouldn't have said I could if I didn't think I could,
All right. We have a motion to appoint these two for these positions.
So moved.
We have a second? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All right, next on the agenda is that we will need to call a special call meeting with the Board of Education for October the 20th, 2015 at 6 p.m. This is, it'll be here. We're gonna do it here.
Yes, ma'am. And they're going to, call this meeting as well. We've been talking about meeting with, school system and cities, and school system called and said, hey, we're ready to go ahead and try to meet. So Beverly coordinated this date, and we need to be able to go ahead and ask you guys to call that meeting. And we'll get with them and get an agenda together of the topics of discussion. And there again, we'll be bringing some more dates back where we can try to get with the cities and meet with them as well. So,
All right, can we have a motion to set this special call meeting for October the 20th?
So moved.
We have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, we got a special call meeting for October, that's a Tuesday, October the 20th. Okay, we have a report from Mr. Bill.
You've got the bank balance listings in front of you. General funds at approximately 190. We will go into the TAN for another $300,000 tomorrow to cover payroll and some end of the month bills that we need to pay. That'll put us at $800,000 into the TAN. I would like to keep it at $1 million if we could do that, but it's going to be real tight. We're going to dig our fingernails in real hard and see if we can't do that. We We got one more payroll to go before, excuse me, before the big insurance check comes from the state. We expect that on or about the 15th of October. It'll be in excess of $700,000. And by that time, maybe Miss Marlene can come up with some big money for us. Hope so. But that's all I got unless you have any questions, Madam Chair.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, we have a report from our county administrator.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Just very briefly on a few things. I want to remind everybody about the partial road closure we talked about last week. It's this of Sewell Road. It's this Saturday, September 26th for the Cancer Walk. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation Benefit Bike Ride is also coming up on October the 3rd. I spoke with them today, and I know Commissioner Drago, you had mentioned about assistance. I mentioned that to them. They're going to finalize their map, they said, by the end of this week with the routes, and I'll send that to everyone. But everything's set and ready to go with that.
Mr. Gibb, I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware that's the same weekend as the fair. So
Right.
all my personnel are aware of it, and we're going to do what we can do on our side, but that's the same weekend as the fair, so that's going to be a very congested 85 North.
Sure will. And I don't know exactly what their route is. I would imagine if they get over the state route, they may get off of that route and travel on a county road. But I will also make them aware of that too, where they'll know that there's extra congestion.
Oh, yeah.
They're coming in at 85 and they're getting on 362.
Okay.
I looked at the route that you sent me a copy of it.
Right.
It's coming in right down 85.
Okay. I may call them in the
Yeah.
morning and say, you might want to look at some
Yeah,
alternate routes.
I mean, because, that's
It's a
what
good
we tell.
point. Yeah, good point. Yeah, but I will call them tomorrow and talk with them about that. Wanted to mention the Recreation Board meeting is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon at 6 o'clock here in the admin building. We wanted to mention also, we've had a couple of meetings with the Georgia Department of Transportation. I think have been very, very productive. We had a meeting in Thomaston, as all of you know, and that went very well. We had a meeting in Atlanta as well with GDOT, and we're going to put some things together. And we talked about a lot of ways that we could, certainly work together. And I felt the meetings were very good, and I think it'll be very beneficial to Meriwether County. One of the things that was asked, of course, is how we can work with them, and they have a Drive Alert, Arrive Alive campaign that they're going. Mr. Sam Welber, who's the board member who represent this district, asked if we could get information out on this. We do have some buttons. I put some in the back. We have some stickers about the program, and we have some literature. There's a lot of literature on their website on it, and what they're trying to do is to advise everybody, look, when you're driving, stay off the phone, don't text, pay attention to what's going on, and they have a lot of information here about the casualties and the accidents that are related to that. So I know some of you may want to speak on that a little bit more, but we do have the buttons available. We have the stickers here. We also picked up some brand new transportation maps in the state of Georgia. I put some of those back there as well. We'll put some out in the lobby for anyone who comes in. So I wanted to mention that. We're going to need to finalize very soon our work agenda. We got a work agenda coming up on the 29th, a work session, and I'll be getting with you guys very soon to finalize that agenda. We also had a meeting with CSX as well about the railroad bridge that are closed, and I thought that meeting went very well as well. They've had indicated they would be willing to participate with us or make some repairs to those bridges. That will fix our issues short term, and then long term, GDOT has indicated they would be willing to put these, or at least one of the bridges, into a bridge replacement program, which will solve our issue long term. So we're going to be talking with CSX again, sending some information out hopefully this week on that. The ACCG District 4 meeting is scheduled, and I wrote down the time, but I didn't write down the date. I can look that up for you. It's in October. I think it is.
7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah, this is I think it's a, let's see, let me find it. This is one in Carrollton, that's right. It's a meeting in
That's what we're
Carrollton,
going to.
and it is, It is I don't have it right here, but it is, I'll send you guys the information on that. But it is a district meeting.
Just a
where
day
they get all the
meeting, right.
counties together. It's from 10 to 12, and Carrollton is hosting that meeting this year. And I'll try to find out.
You get the
before
date for us.
The date on that, I sure will. I'll get that date for you guys in just a moment. And the shooting range, I want to update that. Mr. Bruce and I went along with Commissioner McCoy. We went and looked the other day, and I think we've selected what may be a pretty good site for us to look at. And I know you may want to speak on that a little bit further, but we're going to be bringing that back before too much longer as well. And I think the cabin dedication we've got set in October as well, down at Lake Lake. So that is what I have, and I'll be glad to answer any questions on the board.
Madam Chair, I do have a question regarding the work session scheduled for next Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am.
The time on that is at 5. Is there any way we can have it at 6? And the reason I'm requesting that is there are several people who would like to attend, but that is kind of a short window for those who are working to get here at 5 o'clock. And since we normally have our commissioners meeting at 6, would that be feasible to have that work session at 6 instead of 5?
That would just simply be, I know we had advertised it as 5, but it would be to the board. If you guys wanted to change that to 6, you certainly could, and we'll just notify and repost that is changed to 6. So that's at the discretion of the board.
Does anybody have a preference? 6 is okay with me.
So do we need to take a vote to do that?
Yes,
or-
ma'am, you would, since you actually set it at 5, you would need to take a vote.
All right, can we have a motion to change the time of our work session on September the 29th to 6 p.m.?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
That's it.
All in favor?
So,
All right, so that work session on the 29th will be changed to 6 p.m. Okay. Anything else?
that's all I have, other than I'll find out the date of these. Excuse me. Beverly's got,
It's November the
Yeah.
5th. November the 5th.
November the
I just
5th.
pulled it up.
Oh, it's the November.
Uh-huh.
and I think Miss Beverly has something that she's been working on that, again, is a benefit for the employees, and appreciate her work on that. And you mentioned that to the
Had
board.
several employees ask me again if we were going to do the flu vaccinations here, like we did last year. I've contacted the pharmacist at Rite Aid, and they're going to come next Thursday. And we can have them here from 9 to 11 or 9:30 to 11:30. And I've had several already show interest in that. Just wanted to announce that we'll have that. If you have insurance with the county, bring your card, and it's free of charge.
That's the first.
Yes, ma'am. If we have employees that do not have insurance, Rite Aid told me it would be no more than $31.99. And it would be, everything would be direct with Rite Aid. We'll come here.
Give me
I'll
the
take
time
it.
again.
We can do it either 9 to 11 or 9:30 to 11:30. Say 9 to 11.
Madam Chair, I'm just noticing the people that are sitting in the back say they can't hear, and the air conditioner is running, so it's making it very difficult. So if people don't mind speaking up a little bit, because it's indicating that they can't hear us while we're talking.
Okay.
And what she was saying is that Rite Aid will be here next Thursday to offer flu shots for the employees of the county.
I had one quick question to Mr. Gay. It was asked me just a minute ago.
Yes.
The pipeline, have we got any update on that?
On the gas pipeline.
On the gas pipeline.
What I'm looking to do is to set a meeting back up with Manchester and Hubbardsville. Just have not had a chance to get that done, but that is on our list. We're going to move forward to get that done. I've got to go and talk with them about a couple of things, so I'll get that accomplished here in the next week or so.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Is that everything?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll now have a report from our county commissioners, and we'll start down here with Commissioner Hines on this one.
The only thing I would like to encourage, first of all, I want to thank those who come to the meeting on a regular basis. We do appreciate seeing your smiles, and we appreciate you coming. This next Tuesday, we're going to have a work session. Normally, our work sessions are held in the morning time, so this is an evening work session. From my understanding from Mr. Gay, it's going to be a different format than normal, but I'm encouraging you all to please come back next Tuesday. This is to talk about the future of Meriwether County. What are some of the things that we're wanting to see get done in the county? What are some of the things that we are hoping and planning to do? And we need your input in order to make some of these hard decisions that has to be made. But when we hear from you all, it's a way of knowing what direction we need to go to. We're here to represent you, but we definitely want to hear from your input. So this is an opportunity for you to come to any of the meetings. All meetings are open to the public, but we definitely would appreciate your input. I know I personally would anticipate your input. That's it.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Only thing I have is, I did go and participate in the Globe. I didn't participate in flag making, I watched the kids do it, but I do think that they enjoyed it. It was an experience. And I do thank Mr. Gay for all the work that he's put forth with the DOT and the CSX and the things that you have done in this county to help move forward, and how much revenue it has actually saved the citizens in this county with the dealings that you have done. So thank you very much.
We appreciate that. It's all a team effort. Appreciate y'all's support. Y'all are the leaders behind that.
That's it.
I have a couple of things I want to mention. I too participated in some of the GLOW projects. I mean, it was very exciting. I mean, it was sort of, once you got started, you sort of got caught up in it, and it was a good week. I know my grandchildren thoroughly enjoyed it, and so I got to enjoy it through their eyes as well. And I do appreciate Carolyn. She really, I mean, she was the leader in all of this. I mean, we were just doing as we were told or participating, whatever, but it was a very good week, and I'm looking forward to some good things happening in our community as a result of them spending their time here last week. As Commissioner Threadgill said, it has been a really busy couple of weeks, and a lot of that is because of Mr. Gay. He has set up numerous meetings with DOT, CSX, lots of things going on, and all those meetings are going to result in some savings for this county. We had some good news for our animal shelter last week. We're going to be able to do some additions there and receive some funds for that. Our meeting with GDOT, I fully expect us to receive some money, some revenues there, and some help. So those are all things that will in turn help our citizens by saving us some money. We are excited about the Bullock House, just as Mayor Prater said. I mean, it has been on all the news channels. It's been online. People calling, asking questions. They're excited to see them back open, and we know what a boost that will be, not only for Warm Springs, but for the entire county. I mean, one thing in our meeting yesterday, and Mr. Gay was talking about a little bit, this campaign that they've got going on about the Arrive Safe, Drive Alert, Arrive Alive. One thing that they mentioned that really stuck out to me, they said there's been almost 1,000 deaths on state roadways this year so far, and the large majority of those were one-car accidents. So they are saying that it is distracted drivers is what it is. So we do want to do what we can to help promote that to our citizens. That I mean, I'm just as guilty as anyone about talking on that phone. I think I can take care of one more thing while I'm riding the road, but it does cause us to be distracted. So maybe just those statistics will make us think about that a little more, and maybe be a little more careful when we're out on the roadways.
Do they have these signs to put up, like they have the buttons, like we did the storm watch signs, if they could have those to put out in the county?
I think so. We could, Bill actually mentioned earlier, we put some of these on the county vehicle,
that's
as
true.
a reminder too, and Bill mentioned that.
Put it on Bruce's truck.
Yeah, we get one to Bruce before he leaves. He does a lot of driving, so.
Not right, everybody ought to see it sometime or other.
That's right.
Well, I know, I mean, we all think it's not going to happen to us, We all think that we can answer that call or even look down to see who's calling, but it takes your eyes off the road. And like I said,
It happens in a split second.
it does. It does. And for the greatest percentage of those accidents, those fatalities they're talking about have been one car. That was just sort of eye-opening to me. So just wanted to pass that on. Commissioner Plant?
I just want to say thank you to Carolyn. I know last week the Atlanta Glow team, that in my mind, that was a huge success, and got to participate in several events and all, and those that came out, I think really enjoyed it, especially the young ones and all, so looking forward to finishing the flag and having it on display.
along those same lines, met out at Rancho White Oak, which is an event center north of town off of Valley Road, and got to meet the owners, and very nice facility that we have here in Meriwether County, and they are an event center, so if you have need of one, they do weddings, saw it set up for a wedding, and of course it is open, and we got to tour all the facility, but it was great. Bullock House had a group over at High Cotton today that are really looking forward to being able to plan their Christmas party. So I think the excitement that's out there, I mean, it's coming. The last thing is the lifestylesmagazine.net. That's an online magazine. We've got a feature article where the Red Oak Covered Bridge is the front cover, and a very good article for Woodbury and the antique shops, as well as the restaurant, the Blackbird Cafe is mentioned in there. So if you have a chance to go online, it's lifestylesmagazine.net. Really nice for Meriwether County. So I think we've got so many positive things going on, and I want to just echo Mr. Gay that I just appreciate all the hard work, because these meetings with GDOT, Thomaston, Atlanta, and then on site with the engineers and all, it's going to be cost savings for the taxpayers. So I appreciate it personally. Thank you.
That's what we're all here to do.
Commissioner McCoy?
Let's just suffice it, Miss Carolyn, to say we're all in love. We certainly appreciated that time that we got to spend with those troops. That was good, very interesting. This last week I did get to attend the PIE, the Partners in Education meeting. And that is, if you have not grasped that or understood, they are really working to partner and enhance those skills that really will make our people and our students even more employable. And we were told there that just over here at West Georgia Technical School, the welding class this time has climbed to 28 people. Now that, for two small high schools, that's not bad at all. 28 people is engaged in that. And if you ever want to enhance your skills, go over there and knock on the door. They'll be glad to take you in. Earlier we talked about our meeting with CSX, and that meeting was a pick-me-up for me, because it seemed like all of a sudden everything was kind of folding in around us, and when we met with the engineers there, they began to talk what they could do to rebuild those bridges, and that was Bruce and Mr. Theron here, and we all got out there and listened to what they had to say, and they were basically, I would say, chomping at the bit to jump on the project. And so that was not the reaction I thought we were going to have, so I really appreciate that. And one other thing that we did this week, and there again, that was Mr. Bruce and Mr. Theron here, we went out and started sighting for the gun range. And I think somebody once said the longest journey begins with one step. Well, folks, we've taken that one step. We're starting to get that moving, and we know there's time constraints. We've got to get on that and get something going. And the way it's rolling out, it may be easier to sight and get in there than what we first realized. But anyway, that's about all I had.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll hear from our county attorney.
I don't really have anything other than I believe there will be a need for a brief executive session for a couple of legal issues, and I think personnel.
Personnel, real estate.
And real estate, I think it's going to be on that.
It shouldn't take very long.
All right, at this time, with something new that we've added to our agenda, it's just a time for public comment. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to come forward and have anything to say, we'd ask that you give your name and address, and we will set time limits of three minutes. But is there anyone who would like to come up, ask questions, make a comment? Don't be shy.
Madam Chair, I do have just one thing that I forgot to mention. I thought about what I needed to report on earlier, and I just didn't want to come up here with the same old song and dance. The fitness center, it's open.
Okay.
As of Monday, we got it this weekend, got everything moved around, and so the fitness center is open, and it's like y'all come by, take a look at it. Okay. It's the only piece of the Mountain Center that's finished, but I mean, it looks really nice. So, and that's for all county employees, of course, come and use it.
Okay, thank you. All right, any comments from anyone else?
Yes, thank you. I have something I forgot to say, but it sort of goes along with all the comments about the Bullock House. I did post the announcement and pictures on the tourism Facebook page, and as of yesterday, we had over 70,000 viewings of that post.
Oh, wow.
So that tells you how much that Bullock House is an area that everybody wants to be a part of and wants to get on board with, and how excited everybody is that it's going to be reopened.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
and I want to personally thank Mayor Prager, because I know he did a lot of work in the background to negotiate that deal, and we're all so grateful.
Oh, thank you.
Yay, Bob.
You need to mention that we're all gonna go down to Jekyll Island that first week in October.
Mention that.
You wanna mention that?
Okay,
ACCG trip.
yeah, there will be a ACCG conference the first week in October. I think it's the 7th through the 9th, and all the commissioners will be attending it at some point in time to take classes for that week. Commissioner Threadgill and I will be finishing our classes. But we will be involved with that for the first part of October.
Activity with the movie, well, that's going, the movie activity.
Yeah, somebody ought to give
Share.
Jane.
somebody want to update us about the movies that's been filmed, and also about the movie ranch, because we know some activities going on there. That would be a good thing to report. Does somebody want to say anything about that?
We're gonna do that.
I think we're I hope right. Same activity in Maryville County has really picked up in the past few weeks, last couple of months. The Fam Ranch, the 4 sections of land involved in the north end of the county, they've actually brought in about 4 transfer truckloads of materials, building materials, for some of the projects they're gonna build. And as of yesterday, they actually hired carpenters and helpers and started work on it. So they anticipate it to be about 2 months before they'll have a couple of those built. And commissions have been invited to look at them once they get a couple of them built.
I want to say.
And I've had a chance to view all the properties, a lot of excitement up there. And I started hiring people from the county to do this work. They only brought 1 carpenter in from Savannah to kind of lead the process. The rest of the people have been hired right here in Maryville County. And they have been buying materials, but they didn't quite bring in enough for that. So I'm sure they're going to be using local stores to buy the rest of those materials.
See Joe.
The Walking Dead and Film Company in Sonoy, Fayetteville, they call it real regular now. They call it at least 2 or 3 times a week. They actually filming this week in 4 different sites in Maryville County. Filming right south of Gate, Georgia, Road Magnolia. They filming in Emmeline. They're filming right north of Woodbury, Packers Creek, and Sibley Road. And also filming in the Cove. So that's a great increase from what we were at And a year ago, we would get the call this every month or so. So it's really been picking up, looking forward to that. They are spreading a little money. They go in and build parking lots. They reimburse the county for doing that on private land. They have to have a big setup for transfer trucks, all the equipment when it comes in. They lease the land from people in the county. So a little bit of money has started flowing in that area. And from what I'm seeing now, it's only going to increase.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. About $2,000 this week in Perkins Beach Film Fee.
That's great. That's great. That's good. Thank you, Commissioner Hines, for reminding us of that. Does anybody else have anything?
Madam Chair, I would just like to add that we had one community that was in the news yesterday, and that was Gay, Georgia. I don't have to say any more. We have gone statewide.
Nation.
That's probably not to be recognized.
A celebrity.
Okay, if there's no other business, let me announce our future meeting, September the 29th. That meeting now, it says 5 p.m., but it's been changed to 6 p.m. for a work session. We have October 14th, regular meeting at 9 a.m. October 20th, a special call meeting with the Board of Education at 6 p.m. And October 27th at 6 p.m. for a regular meeting. We do need to go into executive session for the purpose of real estate personnel, and legal. Can we have a motion to go into executive session at 6:54?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
We're in executive session at 6:55. At 7:56.
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor? Okay. There was no action taken during the meeting. Is there anything else to come before the board? If not, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a second? All in favor? Okay. Thank you, we're adjourned.